Hey, what's up, everybody? Hans Johnson here. I'm at the Las Vegas airport, just coming out of a financial conference, the annual Stansberry financial conference, and I've been going to these things for I don't know if this is the fourth or fifth time. So I thought I'd just do a quick video here. I got a little bit of extra time, and I didn't get one in last week, so anyway, so a couple things on this for this conference. So basically like 3 days, just tons of speakers, really cool. I like going to these for a couple of reasons, and this isn't the only one that I do some other ones also when I get the chance, but mostly for situational awareness, just kind of like you know, what's going on in the market, looking at trends, big picture type stuff. They have a ton of speakers, really a lot of smart guys, and then some really great salesmen, and so which is sort of kind of, you know, part of the kind of comes with the territory. So every year there's like people that are I'm always talking about how you can get 10 experts and you can get 10 different opinions. So it's definitely the same with the financial markets, with investing, with the economy. And so, you know, that's a real challenge, because essentially it leaves you in this place of, okay, well, who and what do I believe, right? And so, you know, it's always like that at these things. I would say, as a general, kind of my initial takeaway from it, for me anyway, is I'm slightly more bearish about the overall markets and the economy and how things are heating up and some of the signals, particularly inflation, and the way that that's really kicked up this year with wage inflation is becoming a challenge, particularly if you're a business owner, because it's just, the economy is just really smoking hot right now. And then obviously interest rates are going up as well. So having said that, though, it's like one of these things where like I can go back and I can go back every year, and it's just like people talking about, oh, the valuations are too high, market's gonna crash, blah, 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 blah. And so it just sort of gets to this thing where it's like, okay, you know, what do you do with that information? So for me, there's a lot of noise around me right now. I really couldn't find a quiet spot at this airport here. So for me, it's like, okay, it's just going through that exercise of sort of regrouping, looking at the portfolio, and doing a risk assessment, right? Doing a big picture risk assessment, and, you know, kind of rechecking my rule sets, right? Oh, cool, right on. What's up, John? But really kind of like looking at my personal system, True Wealth Formula, and looking at my, you know, rule sets on that. Like, okay, is there anything in here that, you know, how would this hold up under a market, like a stressful event, right? And by the way, like, it's been a really long time since we've had like a 10 to 20% correction, right? And if that hit right now, that would freak people out. Like, when you look at the headlines, you see these headlines right now about like market hemorrhages, market collapses, you know, all this kind of like really crazy headlines that like would scare you to death, and then you go and you check the market and it's down like 1 to 2%. So now imagine like a 10 to 20%, which is considered like a normal correction, and you would have just people freaking out, right? So now go to like the financial crisis, where you had, you know, some pretty solid companies, right? Like talking like blue chip companies that corrected, you know, 40, 50, 60, some 70%, right? Drawdowns. And so imagining that hitting your, you know, your portfolio, and, you know, it's fast, it's violent, it's scary, and you know, so it's like, okay, well, so for me, it's like an opportunity to basically just, you know, do kind of like a big picture assessment, like how am I going to hold up? How's my system? How's my thinking, right? Like, what does my portfolio look like? Where are the risks, right? And so there's that part of it. You know, there's a couple other cool things. One guy was talking about a big change in Warren Buffett's investment style pre-2000. Prior to 2000, he was massively focused on really high capital efficient businesses, right? That had solid cash flows, low debt, super crazy, amazing brand recognition, right? After 2000, his performance decreased significantly, started getting more involved in more like, you know, capital intensive companies like railroads and things like that. And anyway, so there was one guy that was talking about that, and then another guy brought up the fact that, like, in looking at his initial system, what he did was it was kind of triangulated between cash, like holding cash, right, which is your dry powder, which gives you the ability to basically seize on opportunities, right? The next was his long-term opportunities. These were like the Coca-Colas and the you know, those companies that are just like long-term, hold forever type positions that pay dividends and just grow their dividend every year, and that you can compound. And then there was, the other part of his strategy was short-term opportunities, which were like what were called like workouts, like opportunities where there was some type of arbitrage or inefficiency in the market that could be seized on, that were much shorter term, okay? And so it was really interesting for me because I was like, dang, man, that's exactly what our ND2 you know, risk management formula is in True Wealth formula, right? It's balancing out and managing our capital at a very high level between cash flow assets and speculations. And so that was kind of cool for me to kind of hear that and go, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe that. And it was different terminology and everything, but it was exactly what we do now in TWF. And when I got that download from just a lot of like thinking and studying and praying or whatever, and started to apply that, it radically changed my results personally. So anyway. So that was kind of cool. Another thing was I was talking to just some of the guys. I don't know if I was surprised about this, but like at these conferences, most of the people there are older than I am, I'm always sort of shocked at how many of them are disjointed. Okay, so a lot of these guys have been like plugging into educational programs, newsletters, you know, resources on investing. They've been investing, quote, investors for years. But I'm always sort of surprised at how many of them don't have a system. Like they think they're investing, but they're totally speculating, right? And they're following these different newsletter writers, and they're getting recommendations from people, and they're in one thing, then they're out, then they're in something else, but they don't have a strategy. Like they literally have no strategy. And I'll ask them, I'll be like, what is your strategy? And they'll be like, oh, I'm you know, following so and so, and I've done a few of his recommendations, and you know, I've made some money on some, I've lost some money on others. And I'm like, oh, no, I mean, like, what's your strategy? Oh, well, you know, I'm working on, you know, being a little bit better at this and stuff like that. And it's like I'm like, man, you know. And it's just a symptom of the financial industry in general, because it's literally like, even at this conference, it's like drinking water out of a fire hose, right? It's like just freaking trying to get a drink of water and you get a fire hydrant stuffed into your freaking face and turned and that valve opened, like cracked wide open. And so, you know, for me, the whole thing again is like situational awareness, like getting out there. I like to see, because you hear about new technology and stuff that's hitting the market, particularly in the medical industry, biotech industry, genome therapies, all kinds of cool stuff that's going on there. Really neat stuff. But you also just get way too much information. So, you know, if you don't have a system, how are you going to make that work, you know? And so I'm always sort of amazed at like almost everybody I chat with and talk to, I'm talking hundreds, like a lot of people, just they don't have like a system. Like they're literally just sort of, I mean, it's just crazy. It doesn't surprise me, but it sort of does, and it makes me so thankful, like super thankful. Not that there's not a crap ton more to learn, and that TWF won't continue to evolve, and that I won't continue to evolve, but it makes me super thankful that I at least have a, you know, a framework to sort of make decisions from, to when I'm hearing something from people that are really smart, like some of them are just freaking too smart, but to be able to hear and listen and then filter, and to be able to weed out the noise, what you might call the noise from the signal, from the things that you really, you know, that are important. So so anyway, I'll be thinking in the coming days, probably sharing some more information with our TWF clients, you know, and about other things. I'm just kind of thinking here right now. So anyway, you know, that's the thing. It's just like, okay, so like if the market is, I mean, there's no doubt it's hitting highs, the economy's just jamming, you know, you get a lot of different opinions. You know, some people are like, no way, we're not there yet. You know, we're not there yet. And some others are like, no, we're, you know, I'm scared, right? It's not me personally, but like this guy's saying this. And so then it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? You know, what does that mean for real estate, right? What does that mean for the stock market? What does that mean for the credit markets, for the bond markets, right? Today, the 10-year treasury, like there's like today was a big deal because it hit over 3%. I think it was for the first time or something like that. So, you know, rates are going up. That's going to have an effect. That makes, I mean, we're in a credit tightening cycle right now, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's, you know, it's going to have an effect. So, you know, for me personally, you know, I need to kind of regroup a little bit and step back and, you know, kind of look at some of the stuff that's in my portfolio and really kind of like try to do a, you know, like a stress test, you know, like what if, you know, what positions am I carrying that maybe have more risk than I think, right? That have potential more volatility. You know, am I going to hold and just like let dividends compound, or is there a point where I'm going to basically exit out, follow a stop loss, step aside, go to cash and wait, you know? How do you know exactly that you're in a, you know, a 2008 style financial crisis versus a regular and healthy correction that is part of a secular bull market, which is what we're in, you know? If you step to the sidelines too early, you miss out on the biggest gains, right? If you do that out of fear and you go to cash, now you're screwed because inflation is what it is, you know, and it's probably not what the government officially reports. You can't just be all in cash. You have to be in the market. You have to engage. You have to do something with your money. You have to put it to work, right? So, you know, and then on the flip side, it's like, okay, how to position to really like how to position so that, you know, you can make money on the way down, right? So that's a whole nother topic, you know, and a whole nother thing to think about. But anyway, so that's what's up. Just doing this quick video, trying to get myself in the habit of doing live videos more often. And tomorrow's my birthday, so I'm heading home. Super stoked to get back with my wife and see the kids. My best friend's flying in tomorrow to hang out. My best friend Chris from Hawaii, so I'm just pumped to see him and spend time with him for the next couple of days. And you know, so anyway, there's all kinds of more. I had a bunch of notes from last week, stuff I wanted to talk about live, just stuff that went on last week, and then it was just so crazy. But I'll be posting more soon. So other than that, Hans Johnson from Las Vegas airport on my way out of this town, heading back home, just signing off here. So anyway, hopefully you liked this video. If you did, make sure and subscribe to this channel so you get alerts, and you know, hit that little alert thing as well. And if you're not a subscriber over at TrueWealthFormula.com, you want to head over to that website and get some of that free access to free information. And you can also get the Wealth Builder app in Apple Store or Google Play, and sign up for that app. It's free, and or you can get into one of our courses or programs. All right, God bless. Later.